we know that there are three big PV manufacturers about to set up shop or have established office in Malaysia: QCell, SunPower, and First Solar. Can you tell us about those investments?
Okay. Under the third industrial master plan, the government identifies solar photovoltaic as one of the focus technologies where the government would like to attract foreign investment into Malaysia to produce or manufacture products, equipment related to the technologies. The first one was First Solar. They announced the investment, I think, about 1.5 years ago, and they just actually launched their plant end of June this year. And in fact, it's a very important thing for First Solar because 70% or slightly more than 70% of their total production output worldwide is coming from Malaysian plant. And the reason why they come to Malaysia because they were attracted to what the governments can offer, mainly from the tax incentives. And subsequently, the government then realized that solar technologies has tremendous opportunity for foreign investment, and they've been working hard through an agency called Malaysian Industrial Development Authority, or MIDA in short, to actually identify and attract them. And our role is actually to support MIDA in trying to identify this company. And subsequently, we have QCells as well as SunPower. Of course, First Solar is already running the plant. QCell is doing the land work, earthwork, and SunPower is still at the planning stage, but they have announced the location where they will be. In total, the investment they expected is about almost 12 billion ringgit in total. Of course, it's still coming in because it's not finished yet. More importantly for Malaysia is that we recognize that labor is not our strength anymore, low-cost labor. So we have to look at high technologies, looking at high skill, and therefore photovoltaic technology fit that, where you have lots of automations, and of course labor is high skill.
Where are the three plants located? Are they all up in the Kedah, Perak area?
No, the way the government wants to do is to create clusters and spread them across the country. Therefore, you then spread the resources. For example, First Solar with the 700 plus megawatt of PV module capacity is located in Kulim High Technology Park, and they are supported with good infrastructures.
That's in Perak State?
That's in Kedah State, actually.
Kedah State, okay.
And it's very close by, it's only like half an hour to Penang Port. And that are the kind of infrastructure that they can have the support. But Malaysia also have inland port where you can just take to a place and then you can have a train connection and straight to the port. But QCell is actually in Sepang, which is just about half an hour from here. And they are working with the Selangor state government. Whereas SunPower is in Melaka, further south, which is about 1.5 hours driving from here. And the way the government wants to do is to spread them. But what we also found out that by having these industries in different places, you then spur the other industries, supporting industries like glass industries, aluminium industries, chemical, equipment manufacturing, and basically complements, and you get more and more companies doing what we call clusters. And that's the aim of the government, create the clusters.
That's on the production side. How about the consumption side, or rather the end user side? How is the state of solar energy adoption coming along in Malaysia?
Before we start these projects under the 9th Malaysia Plan, solar photovoltaic is mainly used for off-grid systems, for rural electrification. And this is something that we have been doing since, in fact, 1980s. In addition, we have equipment for like communication system or highway safety, lighting, and things like that. But when the project started, the focus shifted towards grid-connected applications, giving focus of putting PV in buildings, how to take advantage of reducing offsetting the building materials with photovoltaic. And since then, we saw that the take-up rate has kind of doubled. And a lot more people are aware about it, and the interest is very overwhelming. In fact, you see from conference today, we had a lot of turnout. We even had to turn them down because we just don't have enough any more space. And one of the reasons why public interested in this, of course, environmental issue is one of the key points. especially last year when you have these Mr. Al Gore as well as IPCC winning this Nobel Prize. So it creates awareness, a bigger awareness that environment is an issue, and people do, even in this region, do feel a little bit of impact of environment. But more importantly, recently, because of the high oil price, they are affected in their life. So they are looking at opportunity how to find other means to generate electricity and reduce their electricity bill and so on.
At present, how much does solar energy account for Malaysia's national energy mix?
Is almost insignificant. You can't see the percentage. You have many decimal points, unfortunately. But we are not aiming for straight volume like in other countries. Malaysia's approach is basically to build the right infrastructures, the right consumers, get the mindset and industries to be ready before we have a different kind of policy to spur it. Because there are many cases we've seen before, what they call it start and stop policy, where it's become in thing, then it's moving, suddenly there's not an in thing anymore, and it just die off and on off again. So what we try to do is to create an infrastructure where it's healthier. Whether you have strong policy or the policies change, at least the public and the private sector will continue to drive it. As you saw this morning, you have 3 developers, and these are mainly from private sectors, willing to do it, meaning...
As in real estate developers?
Real estate developer, correct. So what they do is they can't do throughout their whole development because it's too costly. But what they can do is introduce it to selective of their houses, packages, and incorporate it as what called features, as a point of differentiation of their development, and trying to make it more attractive to the public. And of course, public are looking for this opportunity.